Underlay. What it is, what it was, and what it shall be. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33, and today is Thursday, January the 13th, 2022, and the time is 1:15 Central. Excuse me, as always, brothers, it's got a powerful message. We're going to jump right in and talk about sensory manifestation. Sensory manifestation is the ability to use your five senses to take things that are hard and manifest them to your heart. The word hard and the word heart, those two things are the same. So the only way to feel better later, the only way to be better later, the only way to be wealthy, the goal is wealth. So the only way to be or to get wealth later, the only way to get health later, the only way to get wisdom later, the only way to get, if you want to use that term, a better relationship with yourself, with God, and others later is if you do it now. Because there is no later. There's no such thing as time. Time doesn't exist. So the way to do it, what I'm going to teach you today is what I do to manifest every day. Now, this is a lower level manifestation understanding of gamma. Gamma brainwave manifestation that we did, that you guys took advantage of, that we did way back in the day. That was what, 30 days? I think we did, yeah, we did 30 days. And I revealed, explained, illuminated, and simplified during that class that every day is a book. So each day is now, meaning that we don't go nowhere. We don't go to the future. The future comes to us. So the future comes into your point of view. So you cannot get, you have to be. Now, I talked about this when I read one of the most powerful books, which is called The Being Solution by Dr. I don't think it's a doctor, by Darrell Rutherford. And I mention and talk about him a lot, kind of like the book Think and Grow Rich. Now, the only problem with that book that I had was I need step-by-step understanding in order to manifest. And I know that manifestation means that what you think you don't have in your physical world is because you cannot sense it in your mental world. I don't feel it. So if you don't feel wealthy right now, you can never be wealthy, because wealthy is a feeling. So most of us are trying to get money instead of using their senses to feel, because you have to, number one, use what I talk about years ago, and I haven't talked about faith talk that I did when I was in college, and I went from C's and D's to straight A's. And I told you I took a course in college. Well, I didn't take a course. It was inside of, I was flunking so bad that they had this tutoring class after school. And they told me that maybe you should go see a counselor. The counselor recommended that I go to this tutoring for students that was failing. I was fresh out of the military, and this was my third go-round in college. Because remember, when I was back to do that, I took college. I took about 30 hours. Then I took some college hours overseas, another 20, 30 hours. Then I got out of the military, enrolled in college full-time, and went to 2 years of school full-time, and, blah, blah, blah. During that time, I took this professor's class that he was a professor of Arizona University, and his son had flunked out of college. So he needed to help his own son. So he did this for his son, sensory manifestation. He took his son, the title of his book is Where There's a Will, There's an A. Now, my name is Will, and I always say where there's a will, there's a way. But he wrote a book called Where There's a Will, There's an A. To my knowledge, it's still floating around out there. I think it's You can get it online for free. Now, what this book basically talks about is where there is a will. Now, the will, remember, is a part of the soul. The soul is made up of the mind, will, emotion, imagination, and intelligence. Now, when it comes to manifesting, the only reason that people don't manifest faster or more effectively is because there is no self-talk. There is no self-feeling, no self-tasting. There is no self-touching, no self-hearing, and no self-hearing. I said hearing already, right? What did I leave out? Seeing, the five senses. So, number one, you have to be able to self-see in order for it to manifest. So if you can't self-see, see it yourself, it's not going to happen. Number two, there has to be something called self-talk. Now, I'm going to go through all of these. Then there has to be something called, they're not in no particular order. You can change it around, however you want, whatever works for you. So there has to be something called self-smell. You have to be able to smell it for yourself. There has to be something called self-touch. You got to be able to touch it for yourself. And then there got to be something, what I leave out, taste. You got to have to be something called self-taste. You got to be able to taste it for yourself in order to manifest it. Now, if you take these five, some of these is like my Corvette, for example. How can I taste my Corvette? I can probably go outside and lick it. I don't know what it tastes like. So some of these don't apply to certain things. But the more the book breaks down is if there is a way for you to use all five senses, you manifest it 5 times faster. In other words, if you study, like right now we're doing auditory. You're receiving this information with one sense. If I was doing video, you would activate 2 senses. If I was in person, you could activate 3, maybe 4 senses. Because you could smell, you say, oh man, Doc, what's that cologne he wearing? Or something that activates the senses. Then you could touch me after the seminar. Walk up, shake my hand. Hey, pleasure to meet you. Oh, who's this? Oh man, my name is Joseph, Brother Joseph. Oh, Joseph, hey, what's up, brother? Because I never met Brother Joseph in person. That's why I like to do seminars. Before the COVID stuff, man, I was doing like 10 seminars a year. Every month I was at least trying to do one seminar. I was trying to be in a different city. And I remember the last year, and I looked at my income. I didn't really realize it until I filed my taxes. And I looked at the mileage and all the cities that I went, the hotels I stayed in. Especially when I went up to the ATL and up to Georgia and up to Maryland and then Boise, Idaho, and all the different places. And I drove, 5 days from Texas to Idaho. That was a good drive. And we stopped, really like in Moab, Utah. And then we stopped in Roswell, New Mexico. Then we hung out in, where were we at in Colorado? We stopped in Colorado. So all of these are different places that allow me to activate different senses. Now those are stored in my memory. So manifestation, let's break it down. Number one, right now, the reason why I do so many shows that I say, there was a guy yesterday on my YouTube channel, the old, which is now the YouTube channel, which I deleted. And side note, I need y'all to think, side note, this is a sidebar. Why did they delete my YouTube channel? Now, if you, think, come on, man, think. Can we use common sense? Are there any major TV or any Christian or religious gurus that have their YouTube channel deleted? 10 years of information gone. 5,000 videos, your whole life's work. Have they deleted T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, Joel Osteen, Benny Hinn, any of the preachers? So the question is, why? I remember when they deleted one of the videos, YouTube channels I used to watch. It was called London Real. You guys remember that YouTube channel? And I knew that they was going to delete that fool's channel. Because London Real was that guy, I forgot his real name. And I'm not talking about I think there's a rapper. named London Real. I'm talking about the white guy. Man, what was his real name? So one of you guys probably know his real name. He had David Icke on there one time. And then one time he had President Trump on there. But when he had my boy Dan Pena, you guys remember Dan Pena, the guy that called people snowflakes and idiot and worst pieces, you're a welted, you're a worthless piece of shit. And he talks mad trash about people. So I knew London Real only because of the information that he was sharing. Because it actually is like today, again on my TikTok channel, some guy says, there's no way this guy is not a Mason. I remember I made a screenshot of his comment. I'm going to share it on my Facebook. In fact, I'm going to share it on my Facebook page right now. So that way later on you guys can look at it. Now, the reason why, let me see, Brian Rose. That's his real name, Brian Rose? So his real name is Brian Rose. So thanks for the Joseph. Now, again, the reason this is a side note, but this is very important, because you should not listen to anybody that has like millions and millions of followers, and they promote it by the dominant culture. There's no way in hell or heaven they saying any shit that's relevant. I'm gonna share this image not only on my Facebook page, but I'll share it with the members. I'll share it with the group chat that I sent out to send you guys. And the guy's comment is, this information is not just information. What he's telling you is codes to the universe. He gotta be a Mason. Because the Masons supposedly, because they built Freemasonry as Tubal Cain, he's a descendant of Cain. And remember, they slew Abel. Look at the word Abel. This is what makes you able. Able. So your ability to be able was taken. And then Seth. We are all Sethism, or what's called Sethism. That's actually a religion. It's a part of Gnosticism. And so I studied Sethism for a very long time, which is a part of Gnostic or Gnosticism. This is all part of manifestation, what they call light codes. Now, these light codes, these are the key to the universe. And what I'm sharing with you is this guy is right on, but this guy thinks I'm a Mason. I told you guys, black people cannot be Masons. They don't allow us in. Remember, I was recruited by the Masons a long time ago. And I've said this openly, so it's not a secret. But they were Prince Hall Masons. Them niggas just get together and just it's a boys club, which is an excuse for them to get around, and basically you can go to another city, a Mason has to let you in. It's basically a big sex cult, in my humble opinion. So what I'm not talking about that. I can do that. I can get digits on my own. I don't need no help getting digits if that's all I want to do. Never had a problem getting digits. So what I'm telling you is you have to think. This sidebar is very important. I was going to do an entire show on this topic of what would cause YouTube to delete your whole channel. What could a man, woman, child, monkey, or squirrel say to encourage or make a platform remove all of your content? Remember, they had already deleted specific YouTube videos. How come they just continue to do that? Or tell me what specific. But remember, my YouTube channel was canceled due to medical community violations. It had nothing to do with a lot of the stuff like what I'm talking about today. Medical. Because I started talking about how the body works. How come the dominant culture, or whoever they are, don't want you to know how your body works? TD Jakes is still the Creflo Dollar. All of your leaders, everybody that you follow, they still on YouTube. Now I need you to think before we get into the secret today of sensory manifestation, because that's what this is, biology. So the guy on my YouTube channel, accurately, on my TikTok channel, he ain't stupid. Now, remember, TikTok is interesting because I'm appealing to a whole new market. I look at the demographics on each one of my videos. It's 18 to 24. This shit is crazy. I've never targeted men 18 to 24. Most of my TikTok videos is no women, all men, black men between the ages of 18 and 24, which is the market I originally was going after when I went on YouTube. So God does work in mysterious ways. It's like he took me off of YouTube because I put a lot of energy into YouTube. And now the market that I originally, when I started this 20 years ago, well, not 20 years ago, 2012, because it popped up on my Facebook feed today, January the 13th of 2012. January the 13th of 2012 is when I really, really, like, balls to the wall, I will never work for another Negro in my life. That was January the 13th of 2012 because it popped up on my YouTube channel today. I'm sorry, my Facebook channel. Now this is 2022. I originally made the goal, that was 10 years ago, to use sensory manifestation using what I've learned, especially when I went to St. Philip's College here in San Antonio, and I took the class on where there's a will, there's an A. I recommend you guys go to Google or your favorite search engine, type in where there's a will. And remember, my name is Will. There's an A. I've always said, since I was 13, now this is bulldog tenacity. Remember, this is lower level manifestation. I've just been teaching gamma brainwave manifestation. And some of you guys, because that's a higher level, so I'm thinking maybe if you guys master the lower level first, like I did, then you can master gamma brainwave manifestation. I just assumed you guys was ready for the big league gamma brainwave manifestation. So I did a 30-day class on that. And very few people are manifesting with gamma brainwave manifestation, which doesn't require sensory manifestation. So today's message is the answer to why there's guaranteed manifestation when you understand the book, The Being Solution, Darrell Rutherford. I talk about that a lot. And this book, it's not a book, it was an audio tape when I took it, entitled Where There's a Will, There's a A. So the guy, his son was flunking out of college, just like I was. He wanted him to get A's in school, just like I wanted. He gave his son, use your five senses when you study. You will automatically know exactly what to do. Your brain, you will not be able to logically say the answer to the test, but when you read the answers to the test, your brain will automatically tell you the answer. I tried it. I did it. I went from C's, D's, and F's to straight A. And whole time I was in college, I made straight A's after I did this. So I said to myself, if this works in college, maybe it'll work in real life. So I took the techniques that I learned when I was in college that took me from D's and F's, and I applied it in my life, and I opened up Inspirational Grounds Coffee Shop, Bookstore, and Learning Center in the deep part of W.W. White. You can Google W.W. White, San Antonio, Texas, and just do the visual view and look. That's hood. That's deep hood. Anybody know San Antonio? And everybody asked me, nigga, why you opening a bookstore in the hood? Black people don't read. That was true. Obviously, we did more than just read because we had open mic, we did spoken word, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, there was a success. So this is what I did. Number one, sensory-based manifestation. But this only works if you can understand why I got kicked off of YouTube. Why TD Jakes, Creflo Dollar, everybody else is still on YouTube. If you cannot answer, if you don't remember, this is common sense. I'm talking about common sense. That's what we're talking about. This is common sense manifestation. This is like elementary school. That means third graders can do this. Common sense manifestation. Common. Now remember the word sense means faculty by which your body perceives external stimulation. It is the faculties of your five senses. And your five senses are sight, smell, hearing, taste, touch. So when you use your five senses, the brain says it's real, whether it's real or not. So the brain will close the gap by giving you whatever is needed to fill in the blank automatically. You ain't got to do nothing. But you got to have common sense. Why? Because you're going to reject the feeling. So the gut. So in other words, when I took tests, I did not know the answers to the test. But remember, all I did was, number one, I recorded my voice reading the answer. Remember, this is what I did in college here in San Antonio when I went from F to A's. Because I took that class, where there's a will, there's an A. Number one, you have to read. Your DNA responds to your voice. Now remember, I've done this class before, but a lot of people are not manifesting. You guys, some of you guys, not everybody, of course, you're not able to manifest the life of your dreams. Because why? You're not listening to your gut. Why? Because you're not doing this. What are you not doing? You're not using your five senses. Number one, you got to read. For example, if you ask, what are the first five presidents of the United States? You say that on a tape. Well, now we have recording devices on your phone, so you can read with your voice. This is called faith talk. So I did a class that was on a part of the original videos that was deleted by YouTube. Now remember, faith talk and none of this stuff we're talking about doesn't work if you don't believe and trust your gut. Because that's what this is. This is sensory-based manifestation. What does that mean? That just simply means that you believe in yourself more than you believe in anyone else. You can overcome any adversity with what I call total spiritual freedom. That's called faith talk. So faith talk is the ability for you to talk to yourself because of what it does to your DNA. Now, I'm not going to get into the biology of it because remember, this is what got my account deleted on YouTube. Most people don't know that. Most people don't know that there were YouTube when I asked them, why did you delete my account that had over 5,000 videos? They said due to medical community guideline violations. And I asked, well, what medical? Because remember, I was teaching pretty much the same thing that Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Bruce Lipton teaches. So the question you should ask yourself, why isn't Bruce Lipton's YouTube account deleted? And why isn't Joe Dispenza's YouTube account deleted? You should ask yourself that question. Now, I already know the answer to the question. Because the DNA activation, there are certain steps that they're leaving out. You can go to Gaia right now, and they have a bunch of videos. You should even ask yourself, like, I love my boy Billy Carson, Forbidden Knowledge. But you should ask yourself, how come Forbidden Knowledge is not, if I'm kicked off of YouTube, how come all of these other gurus who teach spiritual superpower activation, the same thing I teach, how come they're not kicked off of YouTube? So when I did the show, one of the shows that they said that got me kicked off YouTube was, I did a show called Real Magic. The title of the show was called Real Magicians, Miracles, Magi, Magic. Remember, I did that on December the 30th, 2021. Because I asked YouTube specifically, could you give me some examples of the medical reasons that I am violating, or what medical or community standards that I'm violating? And they gave me a few of they said over 25 violations that I have committed on previously recorded. Most of my videos that they gave me was stuff that I recorded 10 years ago. So why is there a violation today? I mean, I didn't get an answer. Now, I already know. So you should ask yourself that question when you're listening to your guru and all of the gurus that are still on mainstream media. Now, like the thing that I just shared with you today on TikTok. So I got my first warning from TikTok because of the comment from the video that I just posted a couple of days ago. And the guy said there's no way that this guy is not a Mason because he's sharing light code information. Now, I already did shows on light codes or the language of light. So the way that the manifestation works that the dominant culture uses is they use 5 sensory based manifestation, meaning that the universe doesn't respond unless you can, number one, say it, feel it. You got to talk with feeling as if you already have it. You got to be able to smell, touch, taste, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Obviously, like with my Corvette, you can't taste a Corvette. Now, you can do what I did and go to the car dealership, go look at a Corvette that they always got the Corvette inside the showroom, sit in it like I did, smell it like I did, turn it on like I did, feel the roar of the engine like I did, imagine yourself driving it like I did, feel the feeling like I did, and then go home and then rehearse or repeat that over and over like I did, and it will manifest in your driveway like the one I got in my driveway right now that I drive around in every day, just like I did. Now, remember what just happened 2 days ago, 3 days ago, when I came on this show and we was happy we had got a bid accepted for basically $1 million home that have everything that I wrote down on a piece of paper 6 months ago. Remember? I was in, everybody was giving me, hey, Doc, congratulations. I showed you guys pictures, the pool, the upstairs, the vaulted ceilings, the freaking big ass kitchen with the island in it, office downstairs, the perfect, everything that I wrote down on that paper, the neighborhood, even the name of the builder, everything. I did this technique. What happened? It showed up. But remember, I told you, remember I did the same technique with my wife. 5 years before I met, well, almost 5 years. Everything except the 2 things I didn't write down, which was age and children. Well, I'm looking at my paper from yesterday because now somebody came in with cash. $850K cash. Not bank, not financing, cash. The owner called us yesterday. The agent, Mr. Rogers, I hate to tell you this, man. You guys know the wife is still like, she was in tears. But they said it was ours. He told us, yeah, baby, we didn't have the shit wasn't written. We were supposed to sign a contract yesterday morning. So from that afternoon, now remember, this is real life. This is why I keep telling you guys this. I am not on the bank telling you how to swim. I'm in the water with you telling you how to swim. The fact that we was even in the circle, the fact that was even possible, that a short black man from Texas who came from podunk poverty can even get a bid accepted on $1 million home. That's a miracle. The fact that I was even in the conversation, the fact that I was even in that neighborhood, that's all Caucasian. I ain't see no black folks over there, Jay Money. Now, I ain't saying that they ain't there. I didn't see them. I ride around the neighborhood all the time. Because that's the only neighborhood that have that builder with that quality and with that upscale type home. Because that is what I want to manifest. And it showed up and it manifested. But I didn't write down cost and monthly payment on my paper. Now, it's on there now. What's the point, Doc? The point is, like I told you guys, and like I'm breaking down, and like everybody that's part of these groups know, when something happens in the spirit realm, when you do these 5 things, and you perform a writ, which makes you right, which performs a rite. It's like a saying that is a seance that is science. It is science. So science is what you seance. A seance is what you say. Now, only high-level Masons know this stuff. That's why everybody accused me of being a Mason. Now, my brothers and sisters, my children, my ex-wife, current wife, the people who know me, been with me all my life, they all know this nigga, how the hell he can be a Mason? Number one, black people can't be Masons. We can only be Prince Hall Masons, which is Boy Scout. That is not Masonry. The Rosicrucians over in freaking Scotland, that's where that shit started at, in England. Black people cannot be Masons. So the mere fact that someone accuses me of being a Mason is that it shows me the level of their ignorance. It goes back to what I said. You can't manifest if you ain't got common sense. You can't. Only the people, now remember, this message is really for our Kibelons or black folks, because at a different level. White folks and black folks manifest differently. Because black folks have to get past self-hate. Now, unless you're from Kentucky or, some of these backwood places, okay, then you can relate. Like a lot of my Caucasian brothers and sisters, they from Alabama, Mississippi, and they're not going, and so on and so forth. Not all, some. What's the point, Doc? What's the point? The point is, it's not color. It's culture. I don't give a damn about your color. I'm concerned about your culture. So there's a culture of poverty. Poverty is a mental disposition. This shit is not white or black. If you are white and you live from freaking coal miners, everybody in your family freaking worked in a damn coal mine, and backwoods you grew up in a damn trailer home, your ass grew up the same way I did. And you white as snow. But man, you got the same mental disposition. That is, shit, I'm going to get mine. I'm going to figure out a way to take. We got the same, we got an entitlement spirit. It ain't got to do nothing to do with white or black. That's why I don't do the race stuff, man. This shit is not about race. It's about culture. It's not about color. That is, again, as I talked about before, when we went through the three things that stops you from manifesting automatically with your sensory-based manifestation. Now, remember, I use gamma brainwave manifestation. That's totally different than what I'm teaching today. Sensory-based manifestation uses your five senses. Gamma brainwave manifestation, it uses clarity. That means that you release negative energy, which makes space in your brain for accountability. That simply means that you don't do what you love, you do what loves you. Gamma brainwave manifestation is automatically, remember I call it video game manifestation. That's not what I'm teaching today. I'm not teaching interactive, engaging, imaginative, compelling, because if you do anything that is interactive, if you do anything that is engaging with your market, because remember the 3 M's, gamma brainwave, I'm not teaching that. Message, model, market, money. You can have no money if you ain't got no message. And if your message is not in the form of a model, that is a system, a step-by-step system for a specific market, you're not gonna get no money. So I'm not even teaching that. That's high level shit there. That's a whole nother level, whole nother level. So that's require you to go in and let go of the trauma-based emotional bonding that happened to you when you was a child. So you can't manifest because there's no room in your brain. You are experiencing emotional drain due to toxic shame. So you have no liver fuel. When we broke this down, glia. You have no liver fuel. You have no brain fuel and no neuron fuel. So you lack neuroadrenaline. They call it dope on the mind, or dopamine. Because you're disconnected from your song. Everybody has a frequency. Remember, money is a frequency. You can't get money or make money. You can only align with it. So when you align your mind, you shine. You must be the vibrational form of the thing you wish to manifest. Psalms 24:3. You must move your vibration to match the vibration of whatever it is you want to manifest. So I had to move my vibration, my thoughts, to match that house, and then it appeared. I had to move my vibration to match the frequency of driving a $100,000 convertible Corvette. Nobody in my family drives a $100,000 car. Nobody. To my knowledge, I went through all of my ancestry. So my children will all be driving. In fact, my daughter's already, Sade, she damn near already there. She already driving almost a $100,000 car too. So I'm breaking the generational curse, that trauma that's bonding inside of my DNA. I'm breaking those curses that's passed down, because remember, a curse contains the cure. When you move and get out of the sign or the S, if you take the S out of the word curse, you have the word cure. So, as we already talked about, S-H-I-N and S-I-N-E and S-I-N, those are all the same. That's why you can't manifest. So I'm not talking about that. But the reason I went through all of that is to show you that's, again, 3 ways that you can manifest in one of the 7 versions of yourself. Time doesn't exist. You are projecting a specific point of consciousness. You have a specific point of view. It's not called a wave of view. You manifest according to your point of view. So all you got to do is change your point of view, because you change your point along this line. You establish that point. Poor people have a point. It is a particular attitude or way that they project. Remember, you don't manifest. Your perception isn't your reality. Your projection is your reality. What you project. So that's what we're talking about. I'm talking about changing your projection, not your perception. I don't really care about your perception. You may have a certain way that you may think that all white people listen to country and western music. That's your perception. I know a lot of white people that don't listen to country and western music. So I know that your perception is whack. Not you personally, of course, but people know. So what is your job? Well, you're on a specific point on the map. Hey, now, I'm in San Antonio, Texas. That's a specific point. I can change my point. I can go to Houston, Texas. I can go, my daughters live in Dallas, Texas. So I can change my point of location. You can too. So wealth is the result of getting in your POV. Everybody has a privately owned vehicle. That is your point of view. Your personally or privately owned vehicle, you got a POV. You're supposed to drive it. You drive your POV. Now, your point of view refers to who is telling or narrating the story. Oh, so a story can be told from the first person, second person, or third person point of view. See, most people, they are NPCs, they're non-player characters in their own movie. You got a point of view that says you are a non-player character. Why? If you grew up like I did, the white man holding you down. If you from Podunk, Kentucky, it could be them Negroes that moved into your neighborhood. That goes to neighborhoods. It could be the fact that, there is no economic opportunities. The only opportunity I have is to go work in the coal mines. Everybody has a specific point of view. That's your frame of reference. Now, if you know the psychology of framing, nobody goes into someone's home and look at their picture frame. They look at the picture. You got to change the frame. So if I can get a bigger frame, that's consciousness. That's all I did. I expanded my consciousness by using self-talk. Now, out of all of these techniques, the only one that I recommend, if you don't do nothing, this is what I recommend you do. From today forward, I recommend you talk to yourself out loud, and you say to yourself whatever it is that you want to manifest for yourself. But while you're saying it, you got to feel it. I highly. Now, if you can do what I did, remember, I went to California 3 times, paid. Remember, I did shows while I was going. That's still on my Blog Talk channel, I think. But remember, they deleted half my content on my Blog Talk channel too. You should ask yourself why. And I told you guys, I went to California and I saw a house that I didn't know that they made houses that big. I've seen a lot of houses. I did not know this house was 2 stories of the house was underground. The 3rd story of the house was something like 5,000 square feet. That was above ground. There was another 5,000 on the 2nd floor and another 5,000 underneath on the 3rd floor, and an orchard in the backyard that was at least about an acre with every tree, fruit tree that I can know, with grapes. Because remember California, grapes, wine. They had this all freaking grape orchard, and they had a cellar, a wine cellar with wine. Shit was ancient that they were storing in freaking barrels. It was a black family too. My cookies was blown. I've never seen that kind of money. I've never seen it since. But I came back, and now I'm on track because I seen it, because I saw it, I smelled it, I tasted it, I touched it. So I knew it's possible. You can't be what you can't see. Manifestation is the result of changing what you see, your point of reference. I came from Podunk, Texas. We had no running water. We had no indoor plumbing. We had an outhouse, man. Now, I just saw a 60-minute show where there was open sewage in some little, I think it was Alabama. Black folks still, 2022, it was just on 60 Minutes 2 Sundays ago. Shit brought tears to my eyes. People are still living like that right now, today, the same way I was living. And I look at the way that I'm living now, and I think about how far I've come. See, if you don't know my story, you can't experience my glory. The shit doesn't relate. You just think like all my TikTok friends. Because I'm new to TikTok. They don't know me. So they think I'm just some dude just talking about money. They don't understand. This is not about money. It's about manifestation. It's about ability for you to project into your current reality, the new one. You got to have justification of your visualization. And then you must produce what is called written documentation to experience manifestation. So what I see, I can justify it. With what? With the attributes and characteristics that was given to me by source. So you got that same justification. What is it? It is your name and it's your date of birth. Because inside of your name and your date of birth, there are attributes and characteristics. These attributes and characteristics is your spiritual currency. And so now, the rules of physics that govern our physical reality is mind generated. As we've been talking about inside of the private show, which is that CIA guy, the retired CIA guy that wrote a book about mind hacking and what they did in the CIA. He's a former Navy SEALs, former Navy officer. And he has a book and a website called Mind Hacking. And he's teaching pretty much the same thing that I've been teaching for 20 years. And what is he teaching? This is the metaphysics and science of what we call Jesus Christ. Because Jesus Christ means electricity and magnetism. It means masculine and feminine. It represents the fact that you have a personality and a purpose. And so your job is to understand that observation creates access. And what I'm expressing to you today is the observation that gives you access is based upon your what is hard, because the word hard means heart. Look at the word, H-A-R-D, H-E-A-R-T, hard heart. The Bible talks about being hard-hearted. So hard heart. It has to go from being hard to being in your heart manifest. So manifestation is what you see right now is hard. But once it drops down to your heart, the heart amplifies it, and it becomes easy. That's manifestation. Manifestation is hard heart. Right now it's hard. But once it gets into your heart, it's easy. Why? Because if your heart ain't in it, you can't win it. Why? There's no heart. So I do what I do not because it's hard or easy, but because it's automatic. That's gamma brainwave manifestation. But how does it become automatic? So everything that I do right now, people think I do shows like today's show. I'm not doing it for you guys. I'm doing it for me because I'm recording my own voice. Now, I invite you along to listen. So I can manifest real fast because I do 3 shows a day. I do 5 TikTok videos on average a day. People think I do those to get people. People think I'm doing it for money. Now, I offer products, service, and information because I know you never go to church without your tithes and offering. I told you guys that before. That's manifestation. So an offering is I'm offering you an opportunity to be a part of what I'm doing. So I make that offering because that's universal law. The universal law is give and it shall be given. Whatever manner that you give, that same manner is given back. So I give a lot, that's why I receive a lot. So my blessings doesn't come from people. My blessing comes from my products. Because remember, my money makes money. Remember, the sales I get from people, but the money I make off my money, because remember, I have my money in rotation. So I take money. I remember I've been doing this. I've been telling you guys how to do this. I take out a PayPal loan for $20, $30, $40, $50, $100,000. I take that $100,000 and I pay off another loan. And then I take that. Now that that's it. I purchase and build like the Master Teacher 33 University, which is a website that'll be coming out later on this year, along with the 2021 Fight for Freedom. Both of those, you guys don't know. I've been working on those for over a year. I took the money that I borrowed and put it into products that create more money. So my money doesn't come from you or people. The money I make off of you guys is peanuts compared to the money that I make off my money. So my money makes money. So you got to set up a program where your money makes money. I've been telling you guys this for years. Remember when I started with PayPal, the most money that they would give me was $500. Now I can get $100,000 because I've been with PayPal for 10 to 15 years. But what's the point? That's how you manifest. How you manifest is what? You already got it. You just align with it. Manifestation is using your 5 senses to align your mind with your God-given design. That's manifestation. And so all you got to do is, I recommend, now we could go through it, we could get all fancy and deep, and everybody would just get confused. But there's nobody on this call that can't talk out loud. Is there anybody that can't talk out loud? Now, we all meditate in silence. That's what they tell us. Nobody who says manifest or meditate out in silence get banned off of TikTok. If you go to TikTok right now and do a video of what I'm telling you right now, you're going to get flagged. Your account going to get flagged on TikTok. So, to make sure you understand what I'm saying, common sense. It's not common, though. Because, like I said at the beginning, London Real got kicked off. His whole account got banned. Like Donald Trump's whole account got banned by Twitter. So you should ask yourself, whose accounts are being banned off Twitter? Off all of the Facebook or social media platforms. Look at the people's accounts that are being banned off social media platforms. And then ask yourself why. How come nobody in mainstream religion account, there is no Christian preacher account that is being banned from YouTube? Why? There's no truth in it. If it was, it should be banned already. There is no, I've been telling you guys, man, there is no truth on dominant culture platforms. Now you got to ask yourself, why? As I got inside my book, The Cosmic Author, the whole earth is a dumbed down version of the original. One of the clients, David, let's say his last name, David Andrews, shared a video with me. If I can find it again, or I may ask him to share it with the group. And it's a very disheartening video from the perspective of it just verifies everything that I've been saying for the last 20 years. Now, Brother David is I'm going to use the word affluent Caucasian. Like a lot of Caucasians who listen to my show, but Cameron, and, there's a lot of, people, Sister Ellen, tunes in and wants to hear and there. It's always interesting to me, especially, like, for example, Brother Cameron and his dad. Brother Travis, I always ask myself, because as a black man, I would think it would be difficult for a white man or a white woman, Brother Cade, especially like Brother Cade been rocking with me for a long time. And a lot of Caucasians, Brother Joseph, I don't know, Brother Joseph, I think Brother Joseph is Caucasian too. I know I've never met Brother Joseph. But same thing, I have a lot of Brother Dante, Brother Logan, man, who else? I know I'm leaving a lot of people out, but in other words, I have a lot of Caucasian brothers and sisters. And as a black man, it's always just, remember, this is a part of the problem. We have egos, or we have dispositions, or we have point of views that say, remember, this shit is not written. It's usually unconscious. It only comes up when it's challenged. So as long as it's not challenged, it doesn't come up. But the moment that it's challenged, it is. So when you go home to your family and friends, like if I go home to my family and friends, and I'm listening to, especially like when I was in Calvary Chapel movement, and I was under Skip Heitzig. You know that name? Google Skip Heitzig, tall German dude. And Charles Smith, Chuck Swindoll. Y'all know Chuck Swindoll? Google Chuck Swindoll, Caucasian. Charles Smith, Caucasian. MacArthur, James MacArthur, Caucasian. So a lot of, and remember in my book, Think and Grow Rich, all my three gurus, they were all white men, Caucasian. So I get a lot of pushback from like my Dr. Umar black brothers and sisters. And it's always interesting to me because that exposes underlining frequencies. Now remember, it really is not a problem until it comes home. That's what I find interesting. Brother Joseph say, I'm a black man. All right, Brother Joseph, I didn't know my brother. So Brother Joseph, Brother George, yeah, Brother George, I think Brother George is Caucasian, or Brother George may be Hispanic, I think. Right? Brother George, I think Brother George is Hispanic. But I know Brother George, also Sister Natalie, but Sister Natalie is really not a part of the program. Sister Natalie was Caucasian as well. Now remember, this hinders manifestation. What is it? It is an unwritten, unspoken, unconscious. It's just dormant. But I guarantee you right now, if Sister Ellen or if Brother George, Brother George, I can't say Brother Joseph, but Joseph, he's a black man. Watch out, Brother Joseph. Or Brother Travis, if Brother Travis had a family reunion and Brother Travis invited me to his family reunion, I show up at Brother Travis's family, which is all Caucasian, right, Brother Travis? And Brother Travis introduced me and they said, hey, who's that dude? Brother Travis said, oh, that's my buddy. That's Dr. Will Rogers, Master Teacher 33. You know, what Brother Travis, what would your family say? I mean, I already know the answer, Brother Travis, but I'm just, what about you, Sister Ellen? If I showed up at Sister Ellen's house, Sister Ellen invited me over for a family gathering, all her family, all her kids, grandparents. Now, remember, my ex-wife is white, Snow White, Irish Welsh. I already did this 25 years. You know what? Every time I went to one of their functions, they looked at me like I was a damn leper. Now, I'm not saying that they should or they shouldn't. What is the point, Doc? Now, that disposition is a specific point of view. That is what is projected into reality. You project your lens. You see the world with glasses. Now, remember, this is unconscious. Now, what if you are a Dr. Umar or a black man? Now, Dr. Umar says that if a black man marries a snow bunny, he's a disgrace to his race. Basically, the Negro should be flogged, hung out, and strong. He's a house nigger. Now, I like Dr. Umar Johnson. If you my good Caucasian brothers and sisters, if you have never heard of Dr. Umar Johnson, go to YouTube and look at some of his stuff. You might be a little offended. I'm going to warn you up front. But Dr. Umar Johnson is a very strong advocate, I guess that's the best way of saying it, for, each his own. If you black, stay with black folks. If you white, and go a little bit further, he don't believe that the white man has the capacity by which to extend, I'm going to use the word compassion. In fact, there's been some biological studies that kind of say that same point, which is the Caucasian man biologically does not have the capacity to experience what you and I call compassion. They call it a compassion knot. You can Google it. Black folks have that. Now, what's the point, Doc? The point is that is projected into reality, regardless of what side of the fence that you're on. Now, whether that is right or wrong is not the point. It doesn't make you rich. Now, remember, we have a choice today because I'm talking about why you can't manifest. Because the goal is, remember, this is lower level manifestation. I want you guys to fight for your rights. So that way you forget all about being rich. The moment I stop fighting for my rights, I got a right. I'm a black man in America. The moment I got out of color and got into culture, bam, money started to flow to me easily and effortlessly because that's a trick. That's a light code. So I'm saying this on TikTok, and the people that are the real Masons, they're like, how this nigga will know our shit? They don't, I remember in Masonry, you can't share their information because you've taken a vow to disembowel yourself. Basically, take a knife, cut your gut open, and pour out your intestine if you share their secrets. That's why there's no way possible I could be a Mason. If I was a Mason, I'd be the stupidest Mason on the planet. Because basically what I'm doing would, I would be called to the carpet, and I would have to kill myself. Pretty much, I would have to fall on a knife. Or let one of my buddies come and, basically give me, because remember, you take a vow of disembowelment if you share anything. Because remember, I was recruited by the Masons. I talked to a bunch of Masons. They just come to my coffee shop, and we sit down and talk every day. And they was telling me that Prince Harbor, remember, I had already researched and went into the Thalemic Order of the Golden Dawn, which is a part of, again, the Rosicrucianism, which was started over in Scotland. And remember, I was married to tall, Nordic, red hair, green eyes, O positive blood, Scandinavian, Nordic, kill, kill, kill. Burn the grass, the trees, kill all the plants. It's called scorched earth. So I already know the disposition. I didn't read it in the book. All of my wife's ancestors, her daddy's daddy, you know where he's from? He's from Ireland. Y'all know anything about the Irish? Y'all heard of, did anybody watch Braveheart? Anybody watch my boy, in Braveheart? Anybody know the descendants of Robert the Bruce? Well, they are descendants of Robert the Bruce. Y'all know who Robert the Bruce is? Go watch Braveheart. Go watch what's going on in England. What is called royal blood. Y'all seen Prince Harry? Look at his hair. All that shit is bloodline. They keep their bloodline pure. You think they're gonna let a black man into that? Come on, man. Stop playing. But that is projected. But why? It's a fight for rights. So you can fight for your rights, or you can fight to be rich, but you can't do both. The moment because remember that take up blood cells, that take up space in my brain. All of the rhetoric, that's why Dr. Umar Johnson is still walking around, because he's actually a part of the problem. No Negro that's part of the solution on a high level. See, I can talk to you guys because, I got 100 people on my email. What if I had 100 million? My black ass would be dead already. Do you honestly think they're going to let somebody who's sharing the light codes, as my boy put it on TikTok, of the world? That's why I can drive around in a $100,000 car. That's why I can live the life that I live, because I understand universal spiritual law, I understand man-made law, and I understand spiritual law. Tonight, we continue with Stramanos Homo, which is why you will always be in a space or a place of a debt, because you have signed a contract that keeps you subjected to the Constitution so that way you cannot communicate. Because without understanding your sovereignty, without understanding how to get out of Saturn moon matrix, which we also going to be talking about, so that way you can, exercise a discharge of your debt, understanding the UCC1 financial statement, and why you are a straw man, what happened on June the 5th of 1933, or was it April? I forgot the date, but anyway, how that executive order established and took the gold and made you chattel or cattle, and how do you get out? I didn't say fight, because all of this is documented in the House Joint Resolution 192. You can Google. Now, if you're part of Module 2, I already sent you the entire document, HJR 192. If you're not, you can look up June 5th, 1933, when the 73rd Congress at 4:30 p.m. approved the gold clause that suspended the gold standard of currency. Remember, this is about the golden rule, golden means, golden ratio. So they got a golden clause to destroy the golden standard, because gold is God with Lucifer injected. That's why we can't manifest. So while you're over here fighting and talking about black and white and race and interracial marriage, they are destroying your ability to exercise compassion, empathy, and certainty, and putting you in the mob control with mass mind control. Very few people have value. Compassion is, does what you do benefit others? Empathy is, does what you do have value for others? Certainty is, does what you do, or is what you do, a solution for others? Emphasis on the word others. Most people don't have that. Most people, they are totally consumed with their rights. You ain't violating my rights, man. That's all ego. Very few people are consumed with what is it worth. Worth represents rich. Rich has nothing to do with money, has to do with worth, has to do with self-image. So your job is to speak to yourself your own worth, not your rights. I don't care about your rights. See, we all got rights. Now, remember this straw man shit, all this stuff that we're going to be talking about, this is man-made laws. That's why I don't like talking about it, because this is 3D. This is really a waste of time. But a lot of people are still on that level. So I got to break it down. Why are you fighting for your rights? So I'm going to explain what you're fighting for. And after tonight, you're going to let that shit go. You will understand what happened on March 1933 at the Statutes at Large, that document that I sent you guys. The Public Act and Resolution of the United States, Section 1, Charter 46, be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in the Congress assembled, that the Secretary of the Interior be he hereby authorized to withdraw from the fund in the Treasury of the United States on deposit to the credit of the Mennonite Indians in the state of Wisconsin a significant sum to make, therefore, a per capita payment to be distributed of $100 in 3 installments. Way back then, now we can sit here and we can go through history, because that's where it started at. with turning the Indias into chattel, meaning assigning a monetary value to a fictitious person. Now you won. So what is the monetary value assigned to your fictitious person? That's called a straw man. That's man-made laws. Now, do you got to master those laws and all of this stuff? If you don't want to manifest stuff, yeah. Why? You know what time it takes to learn all of this? Now, I studied this stuff a long time ago, forgot about it, and I'm bringing it back up the all caps name and state. But what's the point, Doc? What's the point? Ownership creates liability. So what if you own your all caps name and state, your fictitious person? Okay, now you got to manage it. Okay, what's your purpose, though? Is your purpose to manage a fictitious person? That puts you in the metaverse. What is the metaverse? The metaverse is you live in a fictitious place. The metaverse is not starting now. You've been in the metaverse. Well, this is the metaverse. You're just going deeper into the metaverse now. So you got a choice to make. You can either manifest your reality, because time doesn't exist. Time is a measurement of the present moment. So that just simply means the future comes into view. You don't go to the future comes to you. The past isn't in the past. The past is the present moment. So the past, the future, and the present, they all exist simultaneously. It's just that they're on a different level than you. So you get to choose, you can live in the past, you can live in the present, or you can live in the future. But the past and the future, those come with what we call anxiety, because you can't control it. If you're in the past, you have something called worry, concern, because you regret the past. You live in the future, you have something called anxiety. Why? Because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. But if you live in the present, what happens? In the present, you can control the present from the perspective of what? I get to make my decisions in the present. So what does that mean? So if you want to be rich in the future, be rich in the present. If you want to be happy in the future, be happy in the present. Because the future is made up of the present. So let me say that again. What's the secret to manifesting? The secret to manifesting is bringing the future into the present now. Feel it, see it, touch it, taste it, smell it. That's manifestation. That's what I do. Let me say it again. Very important. What's a smoking gun, Doc? This is a smoking gun. What's the whole purpose? The whole purpose of today's message. Bring the future into the present. Okay, well, what's the future? The future doesn't exist. The future never comes. That's why if you're always thinking about the future, guess what happens? You never live in the present. You wake up one day, your ass could be 80 years old, and you ain't done shit. Why? You're always living in the future. If you live in the past, what's going to happen? You're going to wake up one day, you're going to be 80 years old, you ain't going to never accomplish shit. Why? You was always living in the past. Thinking about what you could have, should have, would have. Yeah, I remember back when I was in high school, man. Man, I was the bomb. Man, I was the number one. I was the top quarterback. Man, and you just living in the past. Okay, what about today, though? You ain't the quarterback today, are you? You ain't doing the shit in high school today, are you? High school's gone, bro. The past is in the past. The future is in the future. You are in the present, though. Nobody lives in the present. Very few people live in the now. Why? They don't like the now. How come? What if you like the now? How do you like the now? If you're really homeless, are you just going to like being homeless? You live in the now by bringing the future into the present. What does that mean? I had my $100,000 Corvette 8 months ago when I decided to get it. So what did I do now? Now I have my dream wealth. All of my definition of wealth. I'm saying it now. I'm seeing it. I'm smelling it. I'm touching it. And I'm tasting it now. And every day I live I bring the future into the present. So I'm already, everything that you're thinking that you got to be, that you're going to become later, be that now. Because it will never happen in the future if it doesn't happen now. You have to live with your desires fulfilled. You can never have any desires that are outside of you. If you do, they will remain outside of you. Your desires must be in the present. They cannot be in the future. Now, let me make sure you understand that. Because the universe, the dominant culture, they want you to think about interracial marriage. They want you to think about racism. They want you to think about COVID-19. They want you to think about the Chinese are going to invade, or the Russians are going to invade. They want to think about global warming. They want you to think about shit that you have nothing to do with. Can you stop global warming? Can you stop China from invading the U.S.? Can you stop the U.S. from invading China? Can you stop what happened in 9/11? Can you stop it from happening again? So they want you to think. They want you to take up your mental faculty because they know that your brain must experience toxic shame. So that way they can produce emotional drain. Because really, as I said before, and this is the God's honest truth, this is the number one secret that they don't want you to know. You are so powerful that you are your own universe. You are the center of your own universe. Everybody on this call, you don't really know who you are. Now, I know who you are, but you don't. Now, when I say that, what I mean, I'm saying it with all respect. So what does that mean? That means that the mind is a matrix of reality. So the greatest secret of your mind, will, emotion, imagination, intellect, and reality is that you get whatever you desire. I did it already, and I messed it up. Because my desires was manipulated unconsciously by the dominant culture. And I didn't even know. So now I don't trust myself enough to handle the power that I have. Because I literally, you can too, I can create anything I want. The problem with that is I can create anything I want. So if you piss me off, I can create a scenario where me and you meet and bad shit happens to you. I don't like that. So I just create what I'm designed. I don't trust my desires. That doesn't mean I don't have them. Remember, every female that I met, that I desired, I got. Every job that I wanted, that I desired, I got. Every car, every house, everything that I desired in my life to this point, I got. It scared me to the point, especially this last go-round, when I left my current wife, and all this shit happened, that I talked to you guys, because that was somebody that was way supposedly out of my league. Money, about looks, all the good stuff that, men that we like. And bam, it showed up. This house, the real reason, I had to break it down to the wife this morning. It was my fault. Why? Because when it showed up, Sister Cheryl, and when I went and looked at it, the scale, the size, it was a little overwhelming. I felt, Brother Travis, like I didn't deserve to be in that place. It was too fast, too big, too soon. I manifested it, but like I used to do, that thought came in my head that says, you're just a short black man from Texas. What the hell are you doing over in this neighborhood with all these white folks? And what happened to it? The next day, the shit was gone. I'm telling you, I did not read this shit in no book. You cannot afford a negative thought. I just did. I just happened. My $1 million dream home is gone. Because I had a thought that said, damn, can I do this? Now, remember, I had already done it. We already went to the bank. We already did qualify. Everything was done. I just needed to sign the contract. I already got the earnest money deposit. I've already had the money sitting in the bank to give to the guy to sign it. Everything was done. And the thought entered into my brain that says, you sure you belong here, boy? You know you just from Podunk, Texas. Did you see that house? When I drove up to the house, it looked like a damn castle. And my brain took me back to Podunk, Texas. It's where you belong, boy. And you out your league? Stop fronting. You out everybody else's food. Stop lying to yourself. And that thought, it lingered more than the 90 seconds that I'm allowed to have those thoughts. I came home, I got amped up. Now, like, shit, I'm the man. I already knew, J Money. Got in my car, drove back over to the house. Parked in front of the house, called the guy, and he said, Mr. Rogers, damn, I hate to tell you this. I already knew. And I was like, the house is gone, right? I said, yes, sir. They got a bid. I already knew. Why? Why did it happen? Why? My dream came, Brother Travis. Like I always say, when your dream shows up, I'm telling y'all, man, it's you do not have the luxury to make sure you have your shit together before your dream shows up. Because it's going to show up, Sister Cheryl. Everything that you think and you pondering right now and you praying and you wishing, say, oh, God, please help me, Jesus. I just want to do this now. No, you're going to do all of that. It's coming. I just want you to be mentally prepared when your dream shows up. Because you know what's going to happen to you? Same thing that just happened. I've been doing this shit for 20 years. Shit happened to me. I've manifested from everything from houses to cars to planes. When I was in the grave, the dude came on to took me in a private plane, private airport. He said, man, I'll sell it to you for 30 grand. You just make monthly payments. Pay me what you can. Know what I said, Brother Travis? I don't know, man. Next day I thought about it, came back. Okay, let's do it. Hey, I'm sorry, dog. The plane's gone. I thought you know, that's why I took you out, man. I thought you wanted to, this is what you told me, this was your dream. See, when you second guess yourself, that moment that you like, bam. Because remember, as you think it, bam. God said, let there be light. What's the next verse? What's the next word after that? And that was light. That's how fast, that's how powerful you are. You are light. That when you say a sound, that creates a pixel. I don't care what nobody else tells you. I don't care what you telling you. I've been doing it. I do it all. I'm gonna do it again just to prove it to y'all. I'm gonna get it. If it's not, it may be that I got a feeling it's gonna be that same house. I got a feeling in my gut that the deal ain't gonna go through. Something's gonna happen. In closing, I ain't trying to speak nothing negative on whoever got the house. What's the point, Doc? What's the point? The point is you get a second chance. God is so good; He gives you the opportunity that every time you fail, because this is a training ground. It's like riding a bike. When you first start riding, you fall. God said, get up, homie. You're a God. Get up. Brush your feet off. Yeah, you crying. This shit hurts. Yeah, I know it hurts. Get your ass up. Get back on the bike. You start riding again. You going, and then you fall again. God said, get up. Get back on the bike. It's like get into a fight with Tyson. You're going to get knocked. Your ass going to get knocked down. Hopefully you don't get knocked out. I just got knocked down. So what am I going to do now? I'm already back up. I got knocked down, Dr. Jerome. But I'm back up now. So next time it comes, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be ready, Dr. Jerome. Ain't going to be no doubt, no fear, no concerns. Yeah? I talk all this trash, shit happens to me too. I just got punched in the gut. Didn't feel good either. Because I had to watch my wife cry like a newborn baby. Because like me, she said the same thing. That was everything I wanted. She was so proud of me. She's like, damn, you said it. And it happened. It was hard to let go. It was hard for me to look her in the face. Say, baby, it's gone. But guess what? closes, one door closes, another door opens. Brothers and sisters, use your five senses. Because when you add sound to your light is your vision. So, Sister Cheryl of the West, make sure, Sister Cheryl, you have a crystal clear vision, Sister Cheryl, of what it is you are designed by God to hold in your frequency range. A lot of people are going to tell you, Sister Cheryl, do this, do that. You're going to want to have desires. Get rid of those desires, Sister Cheryl, and replace them with design. Make sure you got crystal clear clarity of your design, not your desire. It's a trick. Don't go after desires. I'm telling you, it's a trick. Go after design. You know how much you can afford. You know what you are comfortable with paying. Don't go and get yourself in debt over your head that you feel stressed out because you got to make that payment now. Or you got to maintain blankety blank. Or you don't like the way people look at you. My wife does not like driving my Corvette. In fact, she don't drive it. I love the way when I pull up the side and all the white folks look at me. I just look at them, brother, try it, just I give them the head nod. Yo, what's up, homie? I feel magnanimous. Some people get into places and they don't feel. You go out and get a big ass building, Sister Diane, and you put a sign on it. And you go into that building that but you may be a 5. You're a free spirit. You like to be out on the beach near the ocean, sailing in a yacht. But somebody told you success means you got a building with a lot of overhead and you sit in that building every day and wait for people to come and see you. But you really want to be out in the ocean, on the water, in your yacht. Maybe you should be in fishing. Maybe you should be teaching, sailboating or surfing. But somebody told you the definition of wealth is to get a building and be sitting in the building like I did when I opened up the coffee shop, bookstore, and learning center. Because people told me, if you ain't got no traditional brick and mortar building, brother, you ain't got a business. So I believed them. And I just created a prison for myself. Every morning I had to get up at 6 a.m., drive over to the other side of town and unlock a building to hang out with a bunch of Negroes I didn't even like. I made my own jail. And people wonder why I wasn't happy. The day I closed Inspirational Grounds was one of the happiest days of my life. People thought, oh, man, look at it, it was a failure. Now, bro, I let myself out of jail. Now, I'm sitting there holding my drawers right now, making the same amount of money. In fact, way more money than I was back then. And guess what? I'm happy as a lizard on a hot rock because I'm living the dream. Brothers and sisters, it's extremely important. You don't allow nobody to trick you into fighting for their definition of rights. I ain't going to let Umar Johnson make me feel like I'm a coon because I'm married outside of my race. And I ain't going to make nobody make me feel like I'm a card-carrying member of the Black Panther Party because I'm married inside of my race. It's not my purpose to come on this planet and fight for color. Because the moment you can explain to me what color is spirit, I get on board with it. But their spirit has no color, but it does have culture. And culture is a code. There's different codes. These unwritten codes are light codes. And these light codes is what I'm sharing with you today. Amplify your photons by using the correct phonons to establish the correct pixels. Those pixels are what is called images. That's what the Bible says, thou shalt have or make no graven image. before. Never put an image before your eyes that is not in your design. That is the number one sin. That's called idolatry. That means that you are trying different idols. That's why I don't do desires anymore, because that is try an idol or idolatry, which means there's a pixel or a picture in your brain that is causing toxic shame. And that toxic shame creates emotional drain. So you don't have the inertia or the capacity of power. You don't have enough power to use your creativity to produce fruit. Anytime I find someone who lacks creativity, that means that they are experiencing emotional drain. Their energy is being drained. The only question is who and what is draining or depleting your energy, so you lack the ability, the capacity to create what we call fruit or results. So I'm back on the horse. Back to drone, I'm back on the horse, my brother. So the next time, whether it's this house or the next one, I'll be posting pictures and telling you guys, hey, we back in it to win it. Brothers and sisters, just remember, from today forward, talk out loud to yourself by simply saying, I love my new home in my case, the Warren School District, 5,000 plus square feet, pool in the backyard, large vaulted ceilings, island in the kitchen, all of the attributes and characteristics. I'm saying it, and I'm feeling it, and I'm seeing it. Say it, feel it, and see it now. Make the desire or speak with your design fulfilled. Bring the future into the present. Call those things that are not as though they were. That's how you declare, and that's how you decree. A saying is a seance. A seance is science. That's how you connect with source and disconnect with this contract. Brothers and sisters, you are a light. And the light that sitteth on the hill shines so everybody can see. This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. We'll see you later on tonight. God bless.